Okay, so part 2 on our Evercoat Superbuild review here. From the couple posts that I saw on some forums saying this stuff is gummy to sand, yeah, I kind of see why they said that. I did start this with just going straight 180, and it wasn't really quite cutting all that fast, so I switched to 80 and that did the trick. And then once I got it down relatively low, I switched to 180 and then finished it out, and that seemed to improve the sanding quite a bit. Very much reminds me of that metal glaze from Evercoat, how it kind of has like that weird skin on top of it, and you kind of have to hit it with 80 real quick and then finish it with 180. That's basically the same story. And I did this side all by hand. Took me about an hour, and I've decided I'm going to change tactics here a little bit. I'm going to use 80 with my air file and just buzz down all the flat parts as best I can. Come back with a piece of 80 by hand, do all the little curvy areas here, and then take 180 on my blocks and then finish it out. And that should speed up the process quite a bit. So I'll prop you up on the stand and we can kind of speed it up, because you know, at speed is going to kind of take forever and it's probably going to be a little boring. So what I'm going to do now is all the parts that I didn't get with the air file, I've got a piece of 80 grit on this little purple block here, and we'll come through and we'll sand all this, sand all that, just get it started, and then all the rest of these blocks here have 180 on them. So we'll make it flattened out with that. Alright, so I got the whole thing down to 180, and I gotta be honest with you, once you kind of cut it with the 80 grit and then you start boarding it down with a 180, it really kind of doesn't sand any different than any other poly, like feather fill or slick sand or whatever. Those are the only other two that I've used in the past, and slick sand I've only used like a quart of it. And yeah, but for now I'm kind of sold on it. I mean, we'll see how our little hockey puck in my Del Taco cup goes so far. I mean, this is a day, you know, day after I sprayed it, but we'll keep an eye on that, see if it shrinks at all. So yeah, there's kind of my little rundown of Evercoat's Superbuild 4:1 poly primer. So far I dig it. I'd use another gallon kit of it again without hesitation. I've got it on all these other parts here too. I've got all these finished out to 180. So all I got to do now is just spray it with a high build, block that out with 320, and then should be good to go for paint. So it's been about a month since I shot the first session of the Superbuild on the hood. Since then, it has been painted, color sanded, and buffed out. I still got to spot buff a couple little things and finish polishing it out, but here are the results so far. Looks pretty nice. And as far as the overmix goes of the Superbuild, I wrote down the date. That's when I sprayed it. Today is June 7th. It does shrink. I'm not terribly surprised. It did this around day 3 and then doesn't seem to have gone past this. But I'll keep an eye on this, put it on my shelf, and see what else it does. As far as finishing the parts, I did it a couple different ways. For the hood, I sanded it with 80 grit and then finished it out to 180, and then I sprayed 2 coats of this stuff and then blocked that out with 320 and then went to sealer and paint. The other loose parts, however, I did these in the poly down to 320 and then mixed up that primer as a sealer and then went to paint, and both ways seem to work just fine. So you can go about it however you choose. As far as my experience goes with the overall product, I think it's a nice poly. I would definitely use it again. I will use it again should I do another car in this style. It's a little weird when you first mix it because the activator, it just kind of bubbles on top. So what I did is I just waited 5 minutes for the bubbles to go away, remixed it again, and then loaded up my gun and went ahead and sprayed. And didn't seem to have any coral with it at all. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it. I like the product. I'd totally use it again. It does shrink, so if that's a concern, I would just let the stuff hang out for a day or two, then sand it, let it hang out again, clean it off, and then prime it with whatever top coat primer you're going to use. Alright guys, if you'd like to connect with me socially, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and Tumblr. All the respective links can be found down below. Do hit that thumbs up button, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel for more automotive paint and DIY videos. And like always guys, take care, stay safe. We'll catch you on the next one. Good luck on all the projects that you're working on.